Let me tell you a story, babe. I was 17, and I've never been out of the States before. I mean, I've been out of the country once, but you already knew that. But there was a time where I left the state I was in to a different state. And I have been at one other state actually before, but that was when I was younger. So I don't really remember, so I guess it doesn't really count. But this time I went, and I went with some friends, and we went skiing and snowboarding. I have never been, first of all, on a mountain or something, and I'm such a city girl. So when we went here, it felt like it was dead. I remember I just recently was watching The Walking Dead around that time, and it felt like a ghost town. It reminded me of that scene in season 1 when Rick was riding on the horse and he was going to meet Glenn. It literally felt like I could drop a penny and that would be the loudest noise in the area. And at the time, when you're young, your friends are just friends by title. You'll meet some amazing people, right? But you'll also meet some really bad people, I should say. People that you call your friends because you're too afraid to sit alone at lunch, or maybe you're too afraid to just be alone. I don't think any of them were considered a true friend. But it's better to, figure out who they are early until it's very late. And so, did I have the most fun time of my life? I didn't. It felt like it was a journey to explore something new. But I was with the wrong people. And sometimes being somewhere beautiful with the wrong person or people doesn't feel very valuable. But there was something I did remember. And I think this was like the most important thing in that trip. Me looking up at the stars. It's so cliche. You see it in the movies. It's very romantic, right, also? But when you actually see it in person, that's what really took my breath away. When you realize that the buildings, the high, tall buildings here in the city, they block the night sky. But you can see the stars sometimes, far away. But I remember being with 3 other people who weren't that important to me, but the idea is you shouldn't really travel nighttime by yourself in an isolated area. So I remember being with 3 people. I don't even remember who those 3 people were. It was such a big group. But I remember looking at the stars, and it literally felt like you were right there. Meaning the stars, you could touch it, even though it was so high in the sky. It was really something. And so I wanted to recreate that moment. So when you asked me, where do you want to go? I wanted to see the stars with you. I wanted to fix that memory because it was so special to me. But I wanted to make sure it was with the right person. And that's why I brought you here. That's my reason. It's really telling you that I don't need much. I'm not worried about a lot of things that I should be. I'm not worried that, my boss might one day call me and say, we don't need you anymore. We appreciate everything you did. But because of, who knows, budget issues, you can't work here anymore. It doesn't matter to me. because I don't care. Or like, why don't you buy a house or a car? That doesn't matter to me either. What really matters, and it's so obvious but people can't see, is your well-being, your sanity, and your happiness. Because it's true, we have the past, the present, the future. But the most scariest part is the future. Because you don't know what's coming. So you really need to live in the present and just be happy. Because everyone experiences pain in some form. And I thought, when have I been the most happiest? And the truth is, I don't remember how many times I've been happy in the past. I have been happy in the past, but it doesn't come to me. But if you ask me of recently, of like right now, it's really been with you. And I just want to figure out ways we can just be happy and just put our troubles aside, because we're always going to be worried. But what's the point of worrying when you can't enjoy? But I don't want to really go on a tangent at this point. I just want to sit back, hold your hands, and look at the stars. And then, when we feel like it's too cold, or we had enough, I want to go inside the cabin and make a drink. A nice, warm drink. And we'll see what we can do from there. There's a lot of options.